Hey guys, Captain here. Now if you're a new viewer or even a returning viewer, there's a pretty huge chance that you've seen my most popular video, which is how to build the LEGO Kanto starters Final Evolutions, Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise out of LEGO. I made that video about 4.5 years ago, and while I think I did a decent job on those starters, I think Venusaur is long overdue for a revamp, and Charizard could use it as well. So, without further ado, here's the new Venusaur design. And here's the new Charizard. Charizard's not super different, but the wings are redone, and I fixed a couple things to be color schemed just a little nicer. And because that alone might make it a kind of short video, I busted out the starters' first forms: Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. Alright, so let's get started with the instructions. I'll get to Venusaur first. So as you might have noticed, the old Venusaur design is completely scrapped for this new one. In fact, I have the old Venusaur with me, and I've been thinking about it for a long time that I would like to redesign it, maybe for at least 2 or 3 years now, but I never got around to it until very recently. So I'm just going to keep old Venusaur in the background here, just to chill out a little bit, so we can see the new one. We can really see what kind of aesthetic improvements we can come up with. Anyways, I decided to go with medium blue for the main body. Green is still okay, but honestly, when I look at Venusaur, medium blue is probably the best LEGO color widely available. There's some other shades of blue that would be better but are hard to acquire. Even just regular blue is alright, but like I said, medium blue I think is the best way to go. I also got a little inspiration for this. I got the mouth technique from Carson Hart on Flickr, and his was also medium blue, so I got some of the color scheming ideas from him as well. Anyway, enough about that. Start with a 2x6 medium blue plate. On the very back, stick a 1x2 medium blue plate. Then center a 2x4 medium blue plate. And another 1x2 in front of that. On top, put 4x4 worth of medium blue. I suggest either 2x4 in medium blue like this, so it's nice and stable. Or if you have a 4x4 sitting around, I think they exist and are reasonably available, then go with that. And then on top, once again, 2x4 centered like this, a 1x2 in the back, another 1x2 in the front. Now in front of this little block of medium blue, you're going to toss 2 pink modified 1x1 bricks with a stud on one side. And 2 of these medium blue, I am not even sure how to describe them. They're kind of these slope-ish pieces with a little piece jutting out. I'm not even sure what these are called. I think they're sometimes used in car sets. I do believe there was some robot set way back in the day that had a bunch of these in it. Anyway, you get 2 of those, and those actually make the shape of the head really, really nicely. This is what I'm talking about. This is the technique I got from the Flickr user I mentioned earlier, Carson Hart. And then on top of that, stack another 2x6 in medium blue. So we've got a pretty good body shaping up for us. We're going to want to make 4 legs. These are very simple. Just take a 1x1 in medium blue brick, and then a 1x1 white plate, and angle that plate 45 degrees. So we see here, we've kind of got, we've got these corners sticking out from the plate. And do that 4 times, do that for each leg. I think that kind of gets the shape of the feet a little nicer. You sort of give some definition to the claws. So, like I said, make 4 of those. And as soon as we're done, we're going to work on the plant part of Venusaur's body, which is a little more similar to how I originally built it, but still pretty different. Now first, you want to take 4 of these leaf pieces in green. You can kind of angle them however you want. I'm angling them pretty much 45 degrees each. And then just sticking them here, kind of with one stud away from the back here of this 2x6. And on top of that, placing 2 brown round 2x2 plates. I was thinking about making this 3 tall, and the reason I use plates rather than a brick is because it kind of gives a little more of that tree bark definition. On top of that, let's go with a 4x4 round plate in red, and then a 2x2 round plate on top of that. And there we go. Venusaur is complete. It's a little wider than the old one, which is good. And it's definitely shorter. The old one was too tall, and I think just in general it looks better. Not just color scheming, but the mouth looked kind of dopey on the old one. The legs were just way too long. These claws were a little silly. So I think it's an improvement in a lot of ways. So old Charizard, for the most part, looks fine. The most glaring thing, and I like to call this the well-kept secret of color scheming, is that the wings really do not look like Charizard's wings, but it still resembles Charizard well enough to where one might overlook that. But anyway, I finally decided it's time for me to make nicer looking wings, and I decided to maybe color scheme up a small amount of other things as well. So first change, here in the back I was using a dark gray claw plate, and I'm going to switch that over to an orange one to hold the flame. So that's a minor improvement off the bat. Next we're going to pull off Charizard's torso. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to show how to rebuild all of Charizard. You know, I already have the video up for that. So you guys either probably have already watched it again, just given where most of my viewers come from, or you can check it out after this. But pull off the rest of Charizard's body. And so as you can see, I built a lot of these pieces here on the interior out of gray. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take orange bracket plates, again, 2x2 bracket plates, or brackets, and then separate them by a 1x2 orange plate. So the one that is lower is going to have this 2x3 in yellow on it. The one that's higher is going to have this back contraption on it. And then we're going to take these plates, or these bricks with orange tiles attached to the front, and we're going to stick them under this bracket. I was wondering if I should redo this in a certain way. I kind of like having like a plate or a tile stick out the side. I think it adds a certain amount of width to Charizard's body. I think it really adds that kind of triangular shape. But this could maybe be improved still in some way. Anyways, it still looks a lot nicer because it's much more orange. So on the bottom of this bracket, we're going to place a 1x2 orange plate. And now we're going to peel off these old wings. We're going to stick the old 2x4 orange plate, or 2x2 orange plate where it was. And frankly, we're going to stick this back onto Charizard's legs where it was. We can put the head and the neck back up there as well. And now we're going to make a small contraption for the wings. And so we're going to make two wings mirrored. What you do is you take a 1x4 in blue. You stick a 1x2 in orange here. A corner plate in orange. Below that, a 2x3 in blue. I should note, this is not the sturdiest thing in the world. There are ways you can make it sturdier by making it look worse, or by using 1x3 orange plates, which are really, really hard to acquire, as I learned. And but I went with this. Again, it's not the sturdiest, but it shouldn't be moving around too much. It's still sturdier than some Lego things I've built. Anyway, next you want to place a 1x2 orange plate here, a 2x2 blue plate behind that, and then a 1x1 orange plate next to that. So build that twice. And on this stud here, the second stud of the 1x2 plate, stick the ends of a 1x4 plate. Maybe bend this about as far as it goes. It's about that much. You can bend it a little less, but I think about as far as it goes is pretty good. And attach that to the top of the 2x2 plate where Charizard's wings used to be. And there you go. You have a newer Charizard, which much nicer looking wings, a little more uniformly orange. I think it's an improvement. And finally, we've got the Kanto starters, first evolutions. I think, they're all very simple, short to build, so I'm just going to have them all together in one take. For Bulbasaur, start with two 2x3 green plates, stack those on top of each other. And then on top of that, stack a round 2x2 dome piece in dark green. I found out this is actually a really hard piece to get in green. It's really rare. It's not that common in dark green either, but it's definitely a lot more common than in green. Originally, my color scheme idea was to make Bulbasaur lime with the green dome, and that was just not going to pan out well. And I thought lime with dark green wouldn't look so good. So Bulbasaur is green, which admittedly is probably a little closer to its proper coloring. In front of that, place two green cheese slopes, kind of opposite each other to make the ears. And then underneath, in the corners of the 2x3 plate, stick green studs for the legs, and you've got a nice little Bulbasaur. For Charmander, start with my good friend the Travis brick. Stick a 1x1 orange brick into the other side of that. An orange head on top. On the sides, stick two of the sides, stick 2 claw plates. And on the back side, also stick a claw plate facing downwards. And in that, we can stick a little flame for Charmander's tail flame. And in the front, a yellow tile, 1x2 tile for the stomach. So there we go. Charmander's complete. I think it looks pretty good. Charmander's a bit taller than the others, and sure enough, it's definitely taller than Bulbasaur, and ends up being a little taller than Squirtle. So finally, for Squirtle, once again, go with the Travis brick. You could go with a brown one if you can acquire any of those, but you know, the sides aren't visible too well, so black will be just fine, or dark gray, or whatever you have sitting around. On top, stick a medium blue cylinder. I think this is a little better than a medium blue head, which is acquirable. They exist. I don't think they've ever existed properly in some set, but I think some people like scrub the face off of the genie minifigure in the recent Disney themed minifigures line or something like that. But anyway, for what I'm doing, we actually prefer a cylinder. On the underside, stick 2 medium blue plates. 1x1 plates. This is to make it just a little shorter than Charmander in the end. In the front, you'll want to stick a tan 1x2 plate, but we'll want it, or a tile, but we'll want it a little centered, so it kind of sticks a bit into above the Travis brick and into where the cylinder is. Same thing with on the back side. We'll do that with a brown 1x2 plate. So have those about aligned. And if this were a headpiece, we wouldn't be able to do this because it just wouldn't fit. We'd, have it kind of popping out like this. On the underside of that backside 1x2 brown plate, stick a medium blue cheese slope. And then on the sides, for little arms, stick medium blue claw tiles, or claw plates, which are a little tricky to acquire, but I think they looked better than my other options for arms, which were either just like studs or more cheese slopes, or even 1x2s, 1x1s. I think these are real nice, so I went with them. And there you go. The 3 Kanto starters and redone forms of Venusaur and Charizard. I thought Blastoise was really good the first time around, so I have no intentions of redoing that one. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please rate, comment, subscribe, send this to your friends, check out my other ones, and I will see you guys next time.